Hey everyone, it's Okana here. I'm going to give you some forecasts, what everyone loves, I hope. So let's start with Euro USD. Let's look at it as usual. We start with a higher time frame. We see we have a monthly resistance here. If we zoom in a little bit so you can see this better, you see price has been holding here this entire month. And if we move down to the weekly charts, nice clear uptrend, and for now it's holding above the moving average, which is above the previous resistance here. You can see that even these two resistance tops here, price still above, so it went below but closed above them. So let's move down to the daily charts. So we see this pattern that has been here before. Look at this pattern here, and now look at this. So of course it was happening down here too, it was happening down here as well. You see when price goes a little bit sideways but also down before a breakout. Of course it doesn't mean that we're gonna most certainly have a breakout up. We could as well we'll see a breakout down. So if we look at this on the 4-hour time frame, it's very clear to us, so we can adjust our lines here now, and we get a nice support would be here. If price comes down, we can find a bounce trade here, and we can also draw a line from this area, and we can see that if this closes down we might see a continuation just like before. So once again we're just looking back. For example, here you see price closed below and then it fell for another, so it pretty much fell for 8 hours, 2 4-hour candles, right? And here we had a similar situation. It fell, this time it was shorter, just 4 hours. Of course the next candle still closed below. 2 candles seems to be the norms, 2 4-hour candles. So if this closes below, you might see price going down, but for now I'm not gonna decide too early. It seems that no candle has closed below this line yet, at least not on the 4-hour time frame, so I'm gonna wait with taking any put options. So if what happens if it breaks up here, closes above, that means a continuation. We'll most likely see price going up, so use that analysis and be careful. And on the hourly we can see that it actually is closing. We might see a retracement. If this is holding, it's a good sign for continuation. Again, we can look back and see similar breakouts here, retracement, and then price went a little bit sideways and then fell. So always look at those patterns here on the 30-minute time frame. It definitely does look like a put. We can see again another trend line here. If we draw that, price still going down. If it breaks up, it might be retracing back up there, but looks like price has closed, or it's about to close below this moving average. That's a good sign for continuation. So that's for Euro USD. Now you know long term and short term, so you can do short term and long term. So here on the 5-minute time frame, for example, it would be a good sign if this line is broken. Okay, so if this line is broken, we can short it just like before, like here and here. If it breaks up, we can be trading up instead. So let's look at something else. What about the CAD? On the monthly, the support has been holding for a while. We moved down to the weekly. So you see I have a long-term target here. So in case this breaks, we can be shorting all the way down. And if we look at the weekly, we had the past few weeks we had a bounce, just like it happened last time. Price was in that area, and now it's moving down. If we look at on the daily, we already had a breakout here, and it looks like we have a continuation. If we draw a trend line, you can see price is trending down. So if we move down to the lower time frames, we can see, yeah, price is trending down still. And again, we see that we get similar patterns just like with the Euro USD. So if we get a break here, we could most likely be looking for a bearish continuation, but as you can see, the trend line is still holding, so I don't want to take a put option right now because price could be still climbing, who knows. However, the resistance is holding, so it could be a sign that sooner or later this could break and price could fall. So keep that in mind with the CAD, USD CAD. What about AUDJPY? Should we look at that? Also, we have a resistance here as well. Price is above this monthly trend line, but below the resistance. We see that price is coming back here, so we might see a bounce. So if we go down to the lower time frames, you see that when you switch time frames, gives you new information, because here it looks like it's very close, but when you go to the daily, you see there is still room for this to come down all the way. So here we can see that resistance, support, so could this come down a little bit more? It's possible. It's too early to say. Here on the 4-hour time frame, we can see there is a support here, or rather there was a support. Still price is holding above, so it's not broken yet. And the next one is here, which it bounced off from. You see that here, bounced off from, so that could also be a target. So if we move down, right now it seems to be holding the support, nothing special there. And we move down step by step until we find something. So again, we can see we can use trend lines. We got an upper trend line. We got a lower channel here, so we could be using those. See what happens if we get a breakout. If price breaks above here, we want also this level to get broken before we can be looking to trade towards maybe this target and then this target. So we'll have to wait for that. So I'm going to keep it like this. What about the Aussie? So we look at the Aussie, start with the monthly again. I'm going to clean up my charts a little bit. Always a good idea to have clean charts. Don't make it too messy with too many lines and indicators. So you can see the candlesticks, the most important thing. So we see we had a very long downtrend and finally a breakout. I'm going to adjust my line to this low and to these tops here. And on the hourly, we can see we had a breakout also here. So you see breakouts and trends happen everywhere and on different places on different time frames. So here we had a bounce, breakout, retracement, continuation. So what happens now? We see that price is bouncing on this support. So if it gets broken, we're looking to trade towards this area here. And how do we know if there's going to be a continuation? Well, it's pretty simple. You've already seen it. All you have to do is to draw a trend line, wait for a breakout here. So keep those lines, check that out today. So what about the Kiwi? So by the time I upload this, some of these things might have happened, like the EUR/USD here, but what's important is that you learn how to do your own analysis. So that's what this is all about. And of course the long-term forecast, you can still use those. So this one looks pretty much just like the Aussie, because this is the Kiwi New Zealand dollar. So pretty much what I said about the Aussie is true here as well. I mean, it looks pretty much similar to the Aussie here. Look at this. This is the 30 minute and this is the 30 minute of that asset. We can do this. See a breakout here, retracement going down. So we have to do the same thing here. Wait to see if we get a breakout up or down. So that's that. So thanks for watching, guys, and another video coming soon.